Okay, so we've got questions on magic and Paragon Exordium. I've got note cards. I've got a whole new setup. I redid my setup to go full professor on this nonsense because I love this subject and this topic. So the first question is, how far does the definition of disabilities or health issues stretch in Paragon Exordium? So Hi Tanner, Blue Pantheon, is the one who asked this question. He made it in Paragon Exordium. There's a bit of context to why magic works the way it does. One of the initial starting incidents is the magic is pulled out of the world with a spell called the Theron Salu. This pulls magic and all magical beings out of our world. 10,000 years pass. The spell breaks. That's what shatters the sky. Magic returns to our world. In the absence of magic in the last 10,000 years, humanity has not had magic. As a side effect, canonically in the story, that is where a lot of disabilities and mental issues have come up. Visualize this. I have cerebral palsy, minor cerebral palsy, and essential tremors. So that's where I'm coming from. That's where I got the idea from. The idea is essentially magic. These disabilities arose in humanity because humanity was missing magic. There was a part of ourselves that was locked away from us that resulted in certain disabilities developing. Now, the big thing is it has to be something you're born with. It can't be something you develop from trauma. So like a limb that you lost during a war wouldn't be the result of magic not existing in your DNA anymore, because that's not how that works. PTSD wouldn't result from magic missing from your body. So if it's something you're born with, I guess get during maturation, get through puberty, then it's something that you, as long as it's something you can like develop and it's inheritable, essentially, that's how far it stretches. So Tanner asks about like autism and ADHD and asthma. Asthma would be one that would be more genetic, I think. And the other things can be genetic, but it's also a question of how drastically are you affected by your disabilities. That can factor into the odds of you getting a disability in this world after the Theron Salu, after the shattering. All circumstantial, it's not a guarantee in any way, but that's kind of how it works. The second part of the question, what kind of magic could you develop? Would certain disabilities lead to certain magic? So like, would ADHD result in super speed? Not exactly. So you could develop things that somewhat correlate. There's not an exact one-to-one. So like one of the main characters is a hemophiliac, develops enhancement magic. So let's talk about the different schools of magic and how magic works. So we're going to break that down. So continuing on, we've got passive and active. So magic exists in both the passive and active form in all its types of castology. So what is magic in Paragon Exordium? Magic is essentially a fifth state of matter that is an energy that exists in and throughout all of reality. It can be harnessed and manipulated if you have knowledge of the arcane, which comes from the tree of the knowledge of arcane, kind of like the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or the tree of eternal life. Those are things tied into the deep lore of the book that the book doesn't get into because there's not enough time for that. So we've got active and passive magic. There are 7 unique schools of active and passive magic that are present in the world. These can be combined, just the primary definitions as they exist within the magical community. So you've got divination, conjuration, illusion, transfiguration, enhancement, enchantment, and abjuration. I can go into details on each of those if you want, but that would be its own video because this already is going to be super long. We also have 2 other types of magic. We have the 2 dark magics, which are witchcraft and blood magic. And we have, those are taboo dark magics, which should be over here, and nature or draconic magic. I'm not going to go into details of all of those unless you want me to, but no, ADHD wouldn't develop into super speed. One of the passive effects of magic is as you are using it, if you have it, you develop more physical prowess. You become fitter. You become, like your eyes repair if you have bad eyesight. Your physical being becomes more physically fit because there is energy being burned throughout your system when you use the magic, for the most part. So it cures a lot of ailments. It enhances your physical being as long as you practice with it. It's like a muscle, it can be trained. So someone who has more of a natural gift may not be as good as someone who's done a lot of training and a lot of practice to enhance their magic. So yeah, that's a basic overview of the magic system in Paragon Exordium. And as the elves in my book say, Lumeni, which means may you walk under blue skies. And I'll happily answer any questions you have about any of this or go into more details about any of it if you want me to, because I really love this stuff. Lumeni.